Good evening. I'm Baked Salmon. I'd like to talk for a few minutes to the community that Chris Hansen and Vince Nicotra have most recently conned their way into. I hope you'll listen to what I have to say. It has been well over a decade since To Catch a Predator aired, but if you've had a chance to see what sorts of content we produce, you'll notice that we still love that dusty old program. When Chris Hansen announced his Kickstarter a few years back, it was the greatest news ever. He did reach his goal, but he failed to deliver on the mugs and t-shirts and whatever else. People were pissed, but I guess most people let it slide because when he popped up again last year with a YouTube channel of all things, it was largely forgotten. Chris Hansen was saying the things we wanted to hear. And if you were to change the wording a bit, I'm sure you would be able to relate these things to what he said to your community. Chris Hansen was promising new investigations like the ones our community had been analyzing for many years. I'll be honest, in a way we are lucky that he hooked his wagon to Vincent Nicotra, because if he had chosen someone who knew what the fuck they were doing with the channel and the website, there were plenty more people who would have sunk their money into that scam site. As it was, people did subscribe, but there was also a lot of trust in Hansen, so the red flags maybe didn't look quite so red. And Vincent, Jesus, he was so fucking cocky, showing up in live streams, giving shout-outs. It was really presumptuous. Rather than show some manners, he adopted all the jargon, peppered his comments with predator quotes, just basically misbehaved. And I know this sounds elitist, but if it helps, think of it this way. It's the same behavior that he exhibited with the fucking baby carrot and the short bus memes, making an ass of himself, eating popcorn while someone who I guess is a victim tells her story. And that is so telling of how disconnected he is. When Wes and I spoke out against Vincent, we got some backlash from the community. I've seen it recently in your community as well. And as you know, once we had spoken out, we became targets. Hansen's channel back then was struck by two separate people who were sick of the empty promises about investigations and sick of Vince taking their content and putting it on Hansen's channel. Does that sound familiar? Vince taking digital IP and claiming it for himself? So with two strikes, Vincent, presumably with Hansen's approval, claimed the copyrights on hundreds of videos. No regard for the people who built these channels, no regard for the way it would affect people. Personally, I was crushed for a day, and then I was angry, and then one day suddenly my channel was back. Talk about a roller coaster of emotions. And that son of a bitch Vincent Nicotra had the nerve to play hero.
Why is everyone mad at me? I got your channels back. Oh, and look, you have more subscribers.
He never apologized, never owned up to what he did, and Chris, the boomer, goes on a live stream and says he was struck twice, so he did what he had to do to protect his brand. Look, I know all of this is old news. I apologize for ranting, but I think I do have a point, and it's this. The TCAP community has already dealt with this team of Hansen and Nicotra. We too wanted Vincent gone and Hansen to succeed. For some unknown fucking reason, Hansen keeps him around. He lets him say all kinds of stupid shit under Hansen's name. He lost their other channel. He behaves like a fucking grade school brat, all on social media using Hansen's name. And good luck trying to reach Hansen, by the way. Vince answers all his emails. They recently took my channel down again, claiming videos that had nothing to do with them. And after the first nightmare, I wasn't looking to have that happen again, so I was very careful about what I had on my channel. So he claimed 14 videos on New Year's Eve using Hansen's name, and all because we exposed his slippery plan to make a few bucks off of your community. They gained your trust, they wormed their way in, told you what you wanted to hear, got the guests that you wanted, all the while soliciting money and lying about the alleged investigations. And then Vincent wanted to line his pockets with your money, so he was selling you a lie with his websites. I know many of you want to believe in Chris still, but he let this all happen. You have to ask yourself, how clever is he? How tuned into the facts? How aware of your goals as a community when he allows this all to happen? Chris Hansen was a TV personality. He was good in front of a camera. But in his personal life, he has massive debt, a woman who says he lied to her about leaving his wife. Then when their affair was exposed, Hansen bailed her, left her high and dry. She couldn't get a job anywhere. Basically, he took advantage of her. He's been jailed for writing bad checks, plural. You don't go to jail for writing one bad check. Think about that. And then, because he had no money when he needed to be bailed out, who bailed him out? An outspoken racist, of course. The last point I'd like to make is Vince fucked me. He struck my channel again, just like last year. Check this out. Here's the message I sent on the 31st, right after my channel was taken down. Notice the response.
Your channel has been removed. We will not remove these strikes. You have not been falsely claimed, and we stand by our complaints.
Well, 3 days later, they received a third strike and they lost their Hansen vs. Predators channel. I imagine Hansen had some questions for Vince.
I'll get right on it, boss.
And that's when I received this email.
I'm trying to restore your channel. I need to file a counterclaim. Once the claim is received, the strikes will be removed.
This dickhole piece of shit is Hansen's right-hand man. I think the community that Hansen currently appeals to should consider whether their cause is going to benefit from further association. I think you're spinning your wheels. Thanks for listening. From all of us here at Bakeline, good night.